A huge good morning and welcome to the Carnation Craft Studios. We're live, which is very exciting, with the launch of the brand new USB on our own channel, which is very exciting. Charm and Affection. This is the biggest USB I think we've ever launched. It's huge. There's so much on it. It's unbelievable, and you have got your opportunity to grab that from us today, from the Carnation Crafts website, which is www.carnationcrafts.co.uk. You will find it there, and it's not the deal of the day. Where are they going, Miss Taz, for this? Because the downloads.
Menu, or you can type it in.
Okay, banner menu or type it in, but you will need the name. The name of the USB is Charm and Affection, so do pop that in. If you go to shop, there is also a download list there of various different things, and you'll be able to go in and find everything you need, collections, etc. All of your items available on the Carnation Craft website, including the USB that we're launching today. Now, the good news is with the USB, you don't need to go and download artwork. We're going to give it to you. It's going to be on the USB. We're giving that to you free as part of the USB that you're buying. The USBs normally contain 3 collections and a large amount of backing papers, along with some card shapes that are just available on USB. But this time we're giving you a whole heap more than that. A whole heap more than that, Miss Taz.
I was surprised when I got asked to pick out all the boards.
I know, there's so much stuff in this. So you are getting 3 collections. We are maintaining that. But on top of that, as well as those card shapes that you can only get via USB, we're also giving you part of the Pick and Mix collection. So it's part 1 of the Pick and Mix collection. So you're getting a load of individual dies there. You're also getting a full set of nested dies, which are the Hessian ones. And just there's so much. You're also getting the quick cards. It's endless. There's so much on this, and I know loads of you are really excited about it. We've got a lot of digital crafters that follow us, and digital crafting is actually the way forward, isn't it? It's how everything's going to be, I think, in a few years' time. So nice to get there with the ground running. I'm about to destroy that. Sorry, Miss Taz. I want to show you some inspiration first before we go to boards. I'm going to go into detail with what you get, don't worry, but I want to show you what you're going to be making. Because when you get this home, and you might get this in your hand tomorrow, you can be making these, which is so exciting. Your quick cards, these gorgeous, gorgeous little dinkies, which are so sweet. So you've got 3 different variants of the quick cards. This one is the owl, and they're so easy to make. Now, we've had shows on the quick cards before, never obviously via USB. Do you want to make them with possibly an easel? So you've got the little swan there. How beautiful is that? So they're not a one-trick pony. You can change them up. You can do various different things. There's lots of ways of playing with these. Let me just get that one straight. Sorry. And then the other one is, how am I going to fit this one in, Miss Taz? Will it be this side? There you go. The other one is your peacock. That's your 3 quick cards, and they're absolutely stunning. You're going to be able to make those tomorrow. The great thing about quick cards is you can batch make. So if you batch make them, you can sell them at craft fairs as packs of cards that are ready made, or you can batch make them for yourself, because whenever you need a quick card, just jot a name down in it and get it in the post. Nice size for posting too. So lots of options for you just with those quick cards. That's not what I want to show you as far as inspiration is concerned. Take a look at this. How gorgeous is that? Absolutely stunning, right? And I love the way the little gems have been used almost as to signify sprinkles. It's just ridiculously sweet. I do actually just want to show you this one. So I am going to go back to the idea of quick cards because I love this and I think it's so clever. Are you ready, Miss Taz? Look at this. Hold on.
Oh.
You just pull it all out.
Oh my.
Okay. Oh, that way. There you go. Quick cards are not a one-trick pony by any stretch of the imagination. However, for those quick cards that we need to sometimes just get out, they're so useful for it. Now, let's have a look at some other examples of cards that you're going to get here. I will do the boards in a second, and we will look at more finished samples for you, so you've got loads of inspiration, because that's what it's all about. But I do want to show you some of these. Look at that. Beautiful, right? I love that little broken heart piece at the bottom. I've always loved that. We've got brand new card shapes for you that you can only get on the USB. And it comes with a little butterfly kiss opening that you can just see here. Look at that. Beautiful card making. All of this is going to be in your paw, but you're going to have to go to the Carnation Crafts website and grab hold of it. Grab it as quick as you can, because I don't know how much stock Carnation have got and I don't know how long it's going to last. You'll find it 240518 on the Carnation Crafts website, www.carnationcrafts.co.uk. Big handbag. I love this. I love the colour palette in this as well. Big handbags from Tracy Moore there. Huge shout out to the USB DT members as well, because they're utterly awesome. So thank you for all of your work. We do appreciate it. Make some room. Look how gorgeous that is. Stunning. I just want you to sort of take in all the different variants of everything that you're going to be able to make here. You are my favourite flavour. Or do you want something? Hey up. Jackie Upton's here. There's so many. I've got so many samples to show you. Really, really have got a ton of samples to show you. But I wanted to get you to see a few of them before we start the board, so you're actually seeing where you're going with it, because it's just, this is extreme crafting and insanely beautiful crafting too. So let's have a look at the boards. Now we're going to have to take it step by step with the boards, because there's so many of them, so we will do it in little chunks. Miss Taz will pass me the elements that I need as we go through, but I want to start with the 3 free card shapes. And I want to show you these in glorious detail. The butterfly card, which has got this wee stopper on the inside of it. Can you see there? It's just got the little piece. Look at the line detail. The wings are so pretty on that. Imagine cutting that in mirror card. Really beautiful elements to it, and that gorgeous diamond, nested diamond at the top. That's great for sentiments on any card. But then we have the little handbag here that opens, so you can pop a little card in there. Remember, we've got those quick cards. The owl probably would fit in there, or you could put in a gift card, confetti if you're going to weddings, or to give out at wedding parties as wedding favours. Lots and lots of different elements that you can use for it. But this, be still my little beating heart. You see the little butterfly kiss? We just simply lift those and open that out. I think that's absolutely exquisite. Really pretty, isn't it? You can't buy that in die form. These will never be available in die form. They are solely and utterly part of your USB. And Carnation, we like to give the USB as a little bit of something extra. So we always give you extra card bases that the die cutters can't get, not in a parrying way, but just purely to do with the fact that you can fit so much on a USB. So we always give you some extra card bases there as well. And that's a nice collection to have, isn't it? So you've got those extra pieces. Right, I need to swap this out if I can, Taz, for the next set. There's so many of them. So we've got the pick and mix, okay? So what Carnation do, a lot of you know this, but a lot of you don't. Carnation, on their website, which is an Aladdin's cave of glorious crafting, if you go and have a look in it, one of the things that they do is called pick and mix, and there's 2 pick and mix collections. We've got one of them here. And it's kind of a way of you getting into those individual dies that might be necessary at some point. Those dies that we go, oh, you know what, I really wish I had a key, a die of a key, that kind of thing, where you've got something that goes with it. Now, we're not only going to give you the pick and mix, we're also going to give you matching sentiment digital stamps. So you get to cut those out as well. So they're all there for you as well. Like, it's huge. It's huge, this USB. So you've got your gorgeous apple sitting here with a little bite out of it. So teacher's presents now covered. Thank you very much. We like them apples. Then you've got your camera, and the detail work on the lens is extraordinary. Absolutely extraordinary. On the whole thing, the artwork from Carnation is stunning, of course. But on that lens, it just looks real. It's so clever. You have the orange here with that chunk cut out of it as well. Beautiful. I love the dimpling. Just the effect of it is so pretty. The key, isn't that pretty? That beautiful little label hanging down. I just think that's a card on its own. It's so pretty, so lovely. Remember, we are digitally crafting. You can scale up and you can scale down as well. You've got your gorgeous anchor there with the rope tied around it. Always been a popular one, of course, if you're doing coastal cards, but also the idea of maybe having a friend or a loved one who is your grounding device in real life, the person who keeps you grounded, to say, you know, you're my anchor. It's that thing of we've got someone in our lives that we can rely on to keep us steady. The cupcake, ever popular. Now, we talk about digitally crafting and how you can enlarge. Imagine a card being made of that. Absolutely, just being made of that great big cupcake would be beautiful. Also awesome for card toppers as well. You've seen how much card toppers cost, so you can use those for that method as well. You've then got your beautiful trainer, which is just epic. It's so evocative, isn't it, of childhood somehow, that trainer. Message in a bottle. Who are you sending a message to? The old school airmail. Really cute. I miss the days of airmail. We've got the beautiful umbrella here. Now we have got a sample which we will find where the umbrella has been enlarged. You might have seen that on the promo, and it's been made so it is basically the card as such. It's the biggest part of the card. So again, options, 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 and that's what we get with digital crafting that you can't get with die crafting. There is a difference. You've got your pizza here. Love this. Also pepperoni, which is my fave. Then you've got your pineapple. Your ice cream, beautifully drawn, isn't it? And that gorgeous backpack. Do you know someone who's going on the travels, maybe going off to university, somebody who's maybe starting a new job, a new adventure, those kind of things, because that backpack will come in for that, won't it? Just find the sentiment for it. We've got those. We're giving you those digital sentiments, so you'll be able to find something to pair with for every single card that you make. So that's your pick and mix. So we haven't even started on collections. Here we go. Held in Our Heart. Now, Held in Our Heart is based on the idea, I suppose, of sympathy, the idea of sympathy cards. So you're getting a collection here that will cover you for those things. However, there's only really the sentiments that make it sympathy. Everything matches with the idea of a sympathy card, but you'll be able to cross-purpose the whole collection, which is always useful. You've got the beautiful hourglass card shape, but this has got not only backing shapes, you've got filigree, you've got nested dies. It's beautifully done. We're going to give you the artwork for it as well, and that's going to come on your USB. Look how pretty it is. And you can add in those nested if you choose, but you certainly don't have to. We have all the digital crafting choices we want to. You can lay florals across and just create the most pretty shapes with this. But you're also going to see a cascade of butterflies, and when you see that, you'll see how they can come in with this figure of 8 as well, just floating on the side of that card. So you're going to get those. There's your cascade of butterflies. I love that board so much. That's extraordinary, isn't it? And the gorgeous gradient of colour, because we've got 3 colourways, so there's the pink, the white and the blue, and they go up in gradients. You've got that very dark piece at the bottom and it goes up. We've got little pattern structures down here with the idea that you can create something that is, you know, patterned in that way. And you'll notice how where they've stuck the board down here, the butterflies down on the board, it's the darker blues that are at the bottom. It gradients up to those lighter colours at the top. The impact of that is huge. So you have got so many playways with that. But remember that hourglass card we were talking about, how you can piece those together as well. And butterflies are always, always useful. You've got your gorgeous dove of peace. Isn't that pretty? Really stunning. And you can make it as big as you want, because you can actually cut the foliage away too. So you could just use the bird on its own if you wanted to, but that's the most exquisite card. Because if that bird's bigger, and you have of course got your base layer, just think of a card that is that size. You can literally go to town on that, because it will stand on that flat edge at the bottom. Gorgeous. And for sympathy, so pretty. You've got your, I love these little charms are so sweet. You've got this band that goes across, okay, and it's got 3 different layers to it. It's closed off at one end, open on the other, and then each one of these is a charm, a locket kind of type thing, a little charm hole that you can piece through and have that hanging from your card. You don't have to use them in those terms. We're Carnation, we are snippability all the way through. We are never going to pin you in a corner. So the idea being behind these as well, I've got the wee buds and I could chop it there, or I could chop it just above the charm if I just want to use those as a floral bouquet. That's my choice. I can keep them there and I can just pin them all together to create corners, flourishes. I've got all of the elements I need. From there, you've got your broken heart. This has got a little break mark down the centre of it, and it will break into 2 pieces. So for instance, I could give one to Taz and keep one myself, and you can make it those ways. You know how you used to when you were younger and you would have that love heart that came in 2 pieces? Or it can signify a broken heart. It can be all of those things because it's a sympathy collection as well, remember. So all of the elements, or you can just keep it as one whole piece and it's a love heart, and beautifully done at that as well. So it's up to you which way. That's a board and a half, isn't it? How beautiful is that? This is designed so that every piece will fit on top of every other piece. So for instance, this one could be placed on top of there to offer me more detail around the edges of that square. I can then place the florals inside there, see how they fit perfectly, that square shape. And then these ones will fit on there. So we're building, all the time building. And then these flourishes, use them whichever way you like, but they will nicely just piece on these corners if that's what you want as well, to create more of a star shape. Everything is with sort of potential, isn't it, with Carnation? The most beautiful sentiments I think I've ever seen, with heartfelt sympathy in that gorgeous font, with that base layer as well. And one that I think is even more poignant, celebrating a wonderful life. I just think that's incredibly powerful. Celebrating a wonderful life. And if you ever wanted to make a sympathy card and you struggle, that's pretty much going to cover you, isn't it? So that's going forward. You've got everything you need for your sympathy cards. I just think it's important. Let me take you to the nested dies that we're going to give you in this set as well. Full set of nested, and it's those Hessian edges that we love, 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 because they look like pulled fabric. You've got your diamonds here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in this one. They vary in the different shapes. They're beautiful. And it does look like pulled fabric, doesn't it? Nested dies are going to be the most important ones you own, or nested cutting files, because they're the ones that give us the detailed base and foundation for any card that we make going forward. Be that an easel, a twisted easel, a tent base, it doesn't matter. But those nested dies are going to give you the power to go forward with it, aren't they, in different ways and playing. So we know as crafters that that's going to be really, really important. You've got your DL. So it's the full set we're giving you here, a full set of nested. This would be well over £100 if it was in metal form. Your rectangles. They're so pretty. Your circles. Your ovals. Your squares, and that's the base plate. I actually don't think that comes in with this because it needs to be embossed. I'm hoping I'm right on that, but I don't want to tell you something that's on it that may not be on it. So, but it's an embossing plate, so I think you will need a die machine for that one. It's an extraordinary amount of stuff that you're getting on here. I haven't finished. We're still going. Taz, can I swap that out for you, please? We're still carrying on with what we've got to do. We're just swapping these boards out. There's too many to do at once. My stack would be this high. It would be taller than me.
You were right, the plate definitely.
Yeah, the plate's not in it. It needs to be embossed. So that wouldn't work on a cutting machine on Wheeze.
The Hessian ones are on it.
Oh, the Hessian ones are all on it. It's just that one plate. The Hessian ones are so pretty. I've always loved Carnation's nested die. They do them really well because the detailing on the edge is really important on a nested die. It's always going to have that edge on the cards that we make, isn't it? And so it's just important. It's important to know that we've got different ones. When you're a USBer, there's been a couple now where they've given you a full set of nested dies. You're paying on this $44.99. 45 quid today, as such, 44.99, 2.95 UK PMP. That's less than half the price of just the nesteds that I've shown you if you were to buy it in metal form. That's why they're such a value. That's why you need it in your baskets today. 240518 on the Carnation Crafts website, www.carnationcrafts.co.uk. Right, let's go for the next one. Yes, Taz.
Just before we do that, we've got a lot of comments.
Okay.
So I thought we'd just
have a little break it up, because there's still loads.
So we've got Joyce over on YouTube who's saying, good morning, Carla and Miss Taz. It's a beautiful USB.
Yeah, isn't it?
We've also got Susan who says, morning terrific Miss Taz and creative Carla. This is a fantastic USB collection that covers every occasion and every crafter should have it. Thank you for Carnation for keeping up the fantastic work.
Thank you.
And then over on the Facebook, we've got Suzanne Page who's saying good morning. She bought it this morning and some more pro print. She can't
Well
wait.
done.
She's got some new glasses, so she's very happy with the crafting.
And the new glasses, once you've got your pro print we can get away with them. We can't see things properly without the glasses, but once you've got them, you really need the pro print.
Karen's saying good morning. She bought it this morning. We've got Michael who's saying good morning. Tasty Carla and ultra organised Miss
There
Taz.
you go, Taz.
We've got Kate who's saying good morning, Carla and Miss Taz. Today I'm watching you from Scotland.
Hey.
Ordered my USB already. Jacqueline's saying good morning and Jackie is saying morning both. Looking forward to this show.
Ah, that's wonderful. Thank you. While I'm going through this, I will say, obviously, we get more questions about USBs than we do about dies, because I think dies are a more recognised format than digital crafting. If any of you have a question, please do put it forward, and if I can answer it, I will. If I can't, I'll be honest about it and I'll find the answer for you. But please do ask the questions so that you're not feeling lost when you get it home. Am I okay to grab the next set, Taz? Thank you so much. So the quick cards that we were looking at earlier, these are better shown to you on the actual printouts, and I will be doing exactly that once we finish showing you the boards, but I will show you them in their full format and then I'll show you the printout. These are so simple and so stunning that it's just unreal. The fact that you get this blows my mind on here, because they didn't need to do that. There's so much on the USB, they really did not need to do that. However, as gorgeous as they are and as simple as they are, that's your base card. You've then got a mat and a layer. Then you've got the overwork here, which includes the font and the owl. And then you've got extra decoupage for them as well. That's the same with each and every one of them. And they are simply a case of cut and stick, if that's what you want it to be. Or you can change it. It's up to you. But for your base card, it's just cut it and stick it. You are done. And that's a joy, isn't it? We need that as crafters, just every now and again. So you've got your owl, your beautiful peacock in two colorways here. So you've got the blue and green, as you would expect, the traditional, and then your white peacock as well, who I'm very much in love with, and I love it against that pink background. Those delicious carnation colors coming through, and you know, we're proud of that color, we're proud of that logo, we're proud of who we are, and so it's really nice to see that in card format with that beautiful peacock sitting next to it, because peacocks are proud, just like carnation are too. We've then got your lots of love. My favorite of the three actually is the swan. It's so beautifully graceful. It's really pretty. And again, are you going to make an easel from this? Are you just going to live with it as it is, as in, are you just going to cut and stick it? Are you going to shape it? Are you going to change it? It can be the simplest and quickest of cards, but don't be foiled. It can always be brought into something different. Plus you can cut away snippability. You can cut the swan away and use it individually on a different card that you're making. It's not just about having these base cards, is it? Remember, I can make this so much bigger. I can cut that swan and I can make a card of the swan if I so chose, if I was to cut two out. Your choices are limitless with this USB. It's really important that we have those choices. And I say that as a crafter, not as somebody from Carnation. As proud as I am to be part of the team, as a crafter I say that. To get that elevation of choice. Glamour of Winter, this was massively popular in die form, partly because of the board that I've got in front of me, which is that beautiful pop-up mechanism. Engineering at its finest, coming from the brains of Nick. We've got the two little pieces that get cut, and they literally form you a gorgeous pop-up mechanism. Florals, creatures, you name it. What are you putting on here? Think of, you know, all the things you've got in this USB, all the florals that you've got in this USB, Glamour of Winter that we're about to go through, those berries. If you're thinking that you would like more inspiration for any of these collections, visit the Carnation Crafts website. Go for inspiration, visit the page. There's inspiration throughout, and also in the Carnation Crafters group for all of the collections, so that you're not just left with this. There are ways and means of you looking for those inspiration points. This, one of my favourite, I love this. I will never ever grow tired of seeing that frosted leaf shape. It's so pretty. That gradient effect from the dark purple through to the white. I don't think I've ever shown that board where everyone hasn't nodded their head and gone, that's insanely pretty. It's so cute. These little leaves that come from it. And you can, or, you know, piece those together. Remember that pop-up mechanism? Are you going to fold that in half and use it as part of your mechanism? Lots of playways here. Lots of them. Your glitz. Love these. You've got that frosted tone to it. Your corners. Build these in with your florals, your tuck-ins for your florals. So those corners and those bouquets are getting bigger and fuller and they look so much richer every time you make them. And this beautiful frosted icicle. So the last one was called your facet spray. This one is your crystallized wisp. Isn't it pretty? That icicle kind of shading coming through, because this is all about winter. Then you've got your glamour. So your shoes, your handbags, and these beautiful corners that come up. Decoupage elements, so you can build these corners absolutely able to be a card on its own, or so too can the bags and shoes. Or we're on digital crafting, right? If you wanted to, you could piece two together. You could have a bespoke card made from the shoe and the handbag. You can put them together and make an absolute bespoke card shape if that's what you want to do. I'll show you the three different variants there. The last one was the honeysuckle. This one is your clematis, just looking on the back for the answer there. This is your clematis. Look at that. It's so pretty, isn't it? And this one is, just in case you want to get straight to these, your anemone. Okay? Lots of building and shaping ready to be done. And then look at those, your winter berries. Aren't they sweet? Deep winter foliage, these are called. Those tuck-ins, that pop-up card, that pop-up mechanism. All your berries flying forward just in this really stunning way. We're going to give you two ways of using these, or two ways of cutting these. You've got your frosted berries, which have got the white tips to them. You can see that on the white and the purple, or the more plain ones there as well, and you can choose. You've got the leaves. It's stunning. And there's options, options, options. We still haven't finished. We still haven't finished, Taz. 240-518 carnationcrafts.co.uk. Let's have a look at Say No More. This is actually, as far as I'm aware, one of mine, but I think this is Taz's favourite collection that we've done. I know she was absolutely smitten with this one, and there's no wonder, it's stunning. You've got the beautiful floral headband here. Now, that's obviously great for weddings. The whole idea of this is kind of bouquets, that kind of celebration feel to it. But it can also be a wreath. You've got the two bands here that come down, one on either side. Now they can be cut and another one added to form a full wreath, or you can just lay them over each other. So you can form full wreaths from this. And then you've got this placard in the middle. You can cut it away if you don't want it and leave it exactly where it is. It has got, if I just grab my pokey, I'm not going to do it too much because I don't want to ruin the board. These are all individual. So I can put my pokey through, can you see? So I can weave flowers into that if I so chose as well. The stunning filigree semicircle and the gorgeous sentiment holder at the top. Lots of ways, but probably, in my opinion, humble opinion, my favourite board, make sure I've got the right one, of all today is that. Because that's something, right? Just allowing yourself to take in all of that stunning artwork. It's so beautiful. That corner is, every time I see that, I'm like, I can make so many cards just with that. It's so pretty and so valuable to us. And then you've got the beautiful bouquet and that long line flower arrangement in the middle there. Weddings, wedding cards, engagement cards, table favors, just a normal card, just an average card. Well, there's no such thing with carnation, but you know what I'm saying. It doesn't have to be for an occasion, but if it is for an occasion, it's going to be perfect. And that's the joy of it, right? I love, love, love that board. We've got extra tuck-in florals for you here as well, so you can create more of a bloom, a bigger width to what you're making. And it's all sitting there, those tuck-in florals for you. We'll also give you decoupage elements for the previous blooms that you saw as well. So if you want to add those in, you go for your life. Tuck-ins, always important. Finally, a place for you to lay either the bouquet or the long line across this gorgeous wooden panel. And we're going to show you samples, bless you. We're going to show you samples with all of these elements in a second, so you will see them come to life. But I did want to just show you everything first in detail before we went right through the samples, and we've got lots to show you. So we are going to show you as many as we can. I am hoping to demo, but I do want to go through everything that you're getting. I think that's the ones I'd shown anyway, Taz, so I think you're safe. Just bear with me because I'm going to have to lean and try and not damage the whole set, which is never guaranteed. Let me just grab these. I don't want you to miss out on the inspiration, and our DT team have been so hard at work, so I do want to show you what I can. Thanks, Taz. Right, so let's have a look here. I love this one. I was talking to you about the digital stamps that you get with the Pick and Mix. Here's an example. This is Tracy Moore. The camera loves you and so do I. Look at these embellishments. Remember we were saying they lay on top of each other in different ways. I love how Tracy's used them there by using small amounts. You don't have to use the whole thing. We're not governed. We can snip into whatever we need at Carnation. We are snippability kings and queens. It's something that we learn to task ourselves with when we're making cards because we understand the importance of it. Snippability and tuck-ins. Huge, huge guide to us. The wonderful, wonderful Barbara Treadwell with those beautiful charms sitting on your Hessian nested DL. Gorgeous, right? Yes, Taz.
Speaking of, whilst you've got that card there, April over on YouTube has just said, morning ladies, those charms and beautiful enlarged Hessian base. Yes, what a beautiful collection on this USB. And
there's a prime example of it, April, coming together. Barbara's done a fantastic job there. So you're seeing how it comes together. It is just stunning. For those of you who are a shoe lover, you've got shoe heaven on those gorgeous Hessian. Aren't those bases beautiful? Do you like to use some Miri card for a bit of glitz and a bit of glamour? Because there's options, right? We are working always with options. Choosing to go on that sympathy line here is Barbara Treadwell, thinking of you. Aren't the feathers beautifully used in that card? It almost gives it a tinge of sadness, doesn't it? And sometimes that's correct for sympathy cards. I think it's done in such a sensitive way. So thank you for that, Barbara. Again, Barbara's here. Stunning. Say No More, this insane collection that's now on USB. Say No More is just breathtaking. Always has been. It is such an extraordinary collection from Carnation. There's something about it that's appealing, right? We've got Sarah Brannigan coming in here in a different way with those sympathy elements, enlarging the corner piece because we can make it as big or as small as we want as far as your printer will allow it. It's only your printer that stands in your way. Imagine where you could go if you had an A3 printer. Just using that beautiful hourglass card shape there with just one butterfly, because symbolism can be everything. And also, I'm not saying this was, by the way, Anna, who made this card, but butterflies are, in all seriousness, great for when we've made a mistake. They do cover up so much. Sarah Brannigan, again, thank you for always being there, because sometimes that's all we need to say. Get your backing papers out. They're on there for you, and they're on there for you for free. The bouquet on its own. Just simple and clean. Yeah? Because it works just on its own as a card base, doesn't it? And that white on white will give it credence as well. I was talking to you earlier about the umbrella being resized. You're like sunshine on a rainy day. And that's much, much bigger. I'm not singing it, Taz.
Were earlier.
I might have been before the cameras were rolling. Another one here from Anna. Beautiful. So many elements there because we can mix and match, and we tend to mix and match more when we're creating with USB cards. I love that. I love that. It's got such a feeling of autumn and travel about it, hasn't it? And then I love this one too. Sorry, I can show you all of these because I'm in love with all of them. Look at that. your anchor, your message in a bottle, tied up with those elements from the charms and then built up with the Say No More florals, those bountiful bouquets. Absolutely stunning. Little ice cream tucked in the middle. I love that card. And it's using so many elements. And I will say again, the idea of mixing and matching that we get with the USB that we don't, I'm not saying we don't do it with dies, because we do, of course we do, but possibly less so. And the reason being is that when you open a USB, they're not put in there in collections, they're put in there alphabetically. And when you print out what you want from it, you're printing out elements, you're not necessarily printing out collections, because we wouldn't necessarily categorize them that way. So consequently, you're playing with all of that. You're getting the most power. You're getting all of the juice out of the bottle. Let's put it that way. Right, let's have a look at what you get. Now, I don't have my laptop with me in the studio, so I will say that when you open it, the best thing to do, pop that USB into your computer, copy and paste the files onto it so that you've got the USB for use in your machine, and you've got all the elements that you need for printing on your computer. On there is a separate folder for Cricut users. So you've got your own folder. It's still got the same elements in it, but it's just designed more for you. For the rest of us, we're going to use the SVG and vignettes to get all our printouts. And then we're also going to get this, which is our chocolate chooser. And this is, of course, a picture and then a name that corresponds. That name is going to be what you see the folder named as in your machine. So these names match up exactly with the folder names on the USB itself. That means you can always find what you need. Get these laminated, popped in a folder, you won't regret it. So for instance, if I print out a vignette, let me grab a random. I'm going to know the name of that because I think it's fairly obvious, but if I didn't know what that was, I'm going to assume it's key, but you look for it, look for the image of it. And I'll find it on here. Fox myself a bit because these are not in alphabetical order anymore. Hold on. There. Okay. So that's the picture of it. I can marry them up and I can go, that's the name. So when I'm looking at these, I can always find the folder that I need on the USB. It couldn't be simpler. Carnation could not make this easier for us if they tried. And so we've got all of those elements going through. What does this USB look like? Well, printed? Well, I can't show you because I don't have all of it, but I've got a good portion. And that, my friends, is not all of it. That's some of it. It's a lot. It's a very, very large USB. Now, before I get into the actual system of the scan and cut, let me just see if I can find these quick cards for you. I did try and keep them at the front somewhere, and then I showed them yesterday, so they may have got muddled. Just bear with. God, you get so much on this USB. It's unreal the amount you're getting on here. 264 backing papers. 264 backing papers. That's a library of backing papers. Here they are. Let me just move those. I'll show you some backing papers in a second. And let me show you then this. So all the quick cards work in the same way. You're going to get your base card, okay? So you're just going to cut those out. That's 2 base cards. You're just going to cut that out. Fairly easy so far, right? And then you're going to get your decoupage elements, cut them out. And then you're going to get your main points. Matte, layer, third layer as such. So that's going to be the first point possibly that you want to put on foam tape. So you're going to get showers through because all of this space in between will be cut out. And then finally, I've got my swan, which I will place on top of there. And then I can use my decoupage elements to build up his wing. I've done my card in about 10 minutes. We like that. We like that because it makes it easy for us to sell. It means that as far as when we sell something, our time has not been affected, if you like, because obviously, for want of a better way of phrasing it, time is money, right? So if you can make those quick cards and sell them in big batches, that's been really easy work. So for those of you selling, that helps. Let's have a look at some backing papers, because these are not just your average. You've got the artwork deeply ingrained within those papers. Can you see them? So you've got those beautiful accessories there from Glamour of Winter. Your wisp here. Your feathers. All elements showing through. Look at that. Can you see him? Beautiful. The lockets, the charms, there they are. Elements in all of these. So they'll go with any cards that you make in any colour tone that you go. I love that. Any colour tone that you go through. It's just excessively wonderful, this whole USB. So that's an example of your backing papers. There's obviously not 264 of them there, but we have chosen a few to show you. Thank you to the team as well for helping me out with that. It makes it easier for me. So thank you to all the team at Carnation. The USB, you need to plug it into the side of your machine. The box is a match box, so just to show you that, sorry Taz, so you can just slide it. So it is a sliding mechanism. Please do not tear that element from it. So it will just slide open. Yours will have a USB in. Mine obviously is in my machine at the minute, but it's got a magnet on it, so it's got the mechanism to it, and you've got a red foiling or a pink carnation foiling, and you can see that as I move it, all beautifully embossed onto the box. Keep them all together. You can buy storage from Carnation. They have got leather storage box or faux leather storage boxes. Are you able to pass me one, Taz, just so I can show them? These are a boon. I think Carnation should still have some in stock. I'm not 100% sure, but just to show you, this is what they look like. They're wonderful. They're incredibly robust. They fold flat for storage as well, which is really useful. It's got the Carnation logo embossed on it. It's a faux leather with almost a faux velvet on the inside. And then you have got room there for all of your USBs to fit in. It will fit 10 in each one. So go and have a little scan on the Carnation website. See if you can find those if you want some storage. Thanks, Taz. So you've got this plugged in. Let me know if you can see this. Where's it? Oh, where's it better angled? So I can go to home, and the machine's going to tell me that it just needs to move the carriage inside to its initial position. From there, I can then press retrieve data, and I've got 4 elements there, and I need to press the USB. It'll say it's retrieving, and so everything that I said was there is now on our screen in front of us. We don't want the Cricut if you're using a scan and cut. However, if you are on your Cricut, that's the one you're going to press. I don't need papers because I can't print anything from this machine. I can only cut or draw from it. So I can go into SVGs and vignettes, and I can use these to work with. So all of my folders, just let me move that so it's not in the way. That chocolate chooser, which is in alphabetical order, is going to match these folders exactly. So as you're going through and you piece together what you want to find, it's all going to be in there in order. So I can work through this and I can work out where everything is going to be. So it's really, really easy, isn't it, to find your way around these, and super, super awesome to just go and look for everything I want. Those floral charms we were talking about there, they're all in here for you. We've got 2 different types of cuts with these, a speed cut and a detail cut. A speed cut is when we're going to just do the outline, so it's not going to have any detail in it. A detail cut is when we're going to use it as if it was a die almost. It's not in this, we're not going to cut it like it's a die, but we want the effect. So we want it to be as near to that detailing that we would get when we compress a die onto paper. So all those cut lines that the team put in so diligently are still used in here. So you get this incredible result whenever you use the USBs. It's brilliant. And then you've got your mats and your layers. And so you choose. Now each vignette that you print off, now that I've done that, I'm going to knock that off. I can see it coming. Each vignette that you print off is going to tell you what it is. And you choose it, obviously. So when you're going into the folders to print, you'll say, well, I want the speed cut for this one because it's just going to be a background piece, so I don't need all the detail in. It'll still cut some of the detail, but it's not going to cut lines. Or I want it to be a detail cut. So this is going to have loads of detail lines in there. And that's the 2 different ones. So I know which one's which because of this. Some of them will absolutely fox all our brains by saying SCDC, and I'm not going to find one now that I'm looking. SCDC means it doesn't matter because the artwork doesn't change. So regardless of whether you're going to cut it in a detail cut or a speed cut, the detail's not going to change. So if you look at these 2, other than them being a different colorway, you can see that the speed cut has got 2 of those and 2 of those, whereas the detail cut has only got 1 of each. Very quickly, just to explain why that is, because we have lots of people going, why am I being, punished for having the detail cut? Why is there not more on this one? There is a very valid point for it. You've only got so many turn lines on a machine. It can only do so much. It is brilliant, but it is still just a machine. It's got only so much automation it can do. That blade needs a turning point. Your vignettes for this will not fit your dies. They've got to be resized to be able to allow for that turning point in the blade, and they've only got capacity to cut so many lines. So if we put 2 of the detail cuts of each of those on, there's too much information. The machine will not register that much information. So we cut it down to 1 of each on the detail cut so that you can still get all of that detail. If you don't want to spend the time doing that, you can use the speed cut. And sometimes we want to use, you know, either or. It depends what we're doing with it. So now that we've done all that, you choose what you want to do. So the first thing to look at here, I don't know how best to turn that to you. So there you go. Now you can see it, right? So you can see here I've got detail cut. So we just talked about that. I've got speed cut underneath it. And then over there I've got mats 1 and mats 2. In my experience, it's often that mat 2 is your card base and mats 1 is your mat and layer, but always check it. It seems that the mats 2 is always the bigger of them. So you do get to play with it in those ways. Do you want mats and layers? Sometimes we don't. Do you want to make a bespoke card and add 2 together, so 2 shapes together like a shoe and a handbag, because that's going to change how we do things as well, because you'll need to add both of those in. So lots and lots of different reasonings. Now let's very quickly cut one out so I can show you how to cut a vignette. Let's go for something that is a speed cut. I'm not going to cut them all, don't panic, but let's go for your trainer. And then hopefully I'll have time to cut, to do a very quick demo for you. But I do want to show you this because some of you are getting this home and some of you have never had a Carnation USB before. Put your vignette on your mat, okay? So that's the first port of call. Always make sure it is in the corner, so you are zeroing in, literally 0 onto that corner. Then you're going to feed it into this machine. Not at the angle I'm doing it at, but you're going to feed it, try. Woohoo! That'll feed into there. And then it'll just spit it out. It's just registering the lines on the mat to make sure it's genuine. I'm going to take this back to home because I don't want the ones that I just had up. I'm going to go to retrieve data. I'm going to go to USB. I know this is the trainer, she says very confidently. But if you don't know, you can look at that chocolate chooser. Go all the way down. An OPQ, RST. Does that say trainer, Taz? I can't lean over. Yeah. So click in there. This is a speed cut because it says SC in the corner. So I'm going to go to speed cut there and I'll have the image. I'm going to have to just move this a little bit just to see what I'm doing. Hold on. I'm going to press OK. I'll keep trying to rotate it back to you. When I click here, a red bounding box appears around it. Can you see it? But it's not picked any of the trainers. If I move that red bounding box, it's just the box that's going to move. The trainers ain't going to shift. And so we don't want that to happen. We've got to merge them. So you're going to go to Edit, Red Party Box of Joy, Make Them Dance. That chooses all of them. Now they're all dancing together. We've got our partners on the floor. The music needs to play. So we're going to press OK. And let's go then to OK again and press your oven door. Looks just like an oven door. Press it. Let's cook the mat. Put it through our oven. And then let it spit out. So it'll take it all the way in. And get attached to my wall. Then it'll spit it all the way out. Hotel toaster. We're cooking that mat. That's why the oven door. And then that has got now a photo of my trainers on the screen. Can you see now I've got a photo? Because it has taken a full scan. Now, if I click my trainers again, you'll see that they all start becoming red. I'm going to have to do this from the monitor, so bear with me. I'm going to press edit. I'm going to do some investigating. So I'm becoming Sherlock Holmes, and there's my magnifying glass. I want to go a little bit more further involved in this, so I'm going to investigate it further. And now I'm at 400%, so I can really see that corner. What's happening with those two lines? Are they merged? Are they right? Now you'll see that mine's got a little flip over on that paper, which isn't going to help me at all, but it's where it just turned in the mat. However, I can still use those top lines to line up with the mat. I think we're about spot on anyway, but if I wasn't, I would use these arrows to just move it down or across just a little bit to get those lines to merge. I think mine are pretty perfect. So I'm going to press OK. And I'm going to press OK again. And I go OK again. And then select. And then cut. and then start. And it'll start to cut. I'm not going to make it do the whole thing because we'll be here forever. If you... My brain was going somewhere then. Hold on. Ooh, Taz. I had a thought and then the squirrels took it away. No, it's gone. I was going to say something along the lines of if you want to...
Detailed cut? Oh, cut draw.
If you wanted to draw it, if you want to foil it, if you've got something like the We Are foil quill, something like that, you do it via draw. If you have plain paper in here, you can actually draw it. It will draw the lines that are the same. We did talk yesterday on Hobby Maker if anybody saw us, but one of the great things that Carnation sell, and I love it, is something called Dough-Flex, something we don't talk about very often. But they sell something called Dough-Flex, which is a mylar essentially, but it's a 450 gram micron. So really strong, but really flexible as well. Which means anything on here I can actually cut and make a stencil out of. Anything on the USB. So think of those patterns, those florals. I can make stencils of those. That's amazing to me. Right, let me stop this because it's cut enough. So I can just press pause now. So I can press pause there and I can say quit cutting, give me my mat back. Press, oh, don't you shout at me. And it'll give me my mat back. And then I can just press that to unload. Now I'm going to move this back because I've got a horrible feeling I'm going to knock it off and I really don't want to do that. Once you've done that, you're always best off rolling your mat either over a table or just roll it and let that paper release itself. It's just going to stop you getting into a world of tears and tantrums when you're trying to release that paper if your mat's too sticky. And I've got loads of trainers here. Now remember, I could have done that on Adhesive Pro Print or on Elevate. If I'd have done it on either, they would have all come out as stickers. So I would have been able to sell little packs of stickers of anything that I cut from there as well. Super important. Woof! There's a lot of words, Taz. There's a lot of words this morning, guys. I do apologise. I'm going as fast as I can. USB shows are always full. So let's make something very quick, very simple. I don't have time for much because we are back at 11 with Full of Love. 12! Brain! Also, while I'm just folding this over, at the end of the Full of Love show, we have got something absolutely brand new from Carnation that they have never done before, ever. It's exquisite. You're going to love it. And we're going to give you a really quick sneak peek of it at the end of the Full of Love show. So we're back with that 12, so you'll be able to see before anybody else in the world what Carnation have been up to. And we love it at Carnation. It's brilliant. So let me just take this down. Place my mat upon my layer. So I've used the Glamour of Winter Perfect Papers here to give me that gorgeous purple colour. But I'm going to cool it. So I'm going to start bringing in some cooler tones, so cooler layers. Laying in. 240518 for your Charm and Fiction USB, $44.99 on the Carnation Crafts website, www.carnationcrafts.co.uk. $44.99 today is your very special show price. That's going to go back up to $2.95 UKP and P. Oh no, sorry, that's $2.90. That's me on autopilot. $2.95 UKP and P. Use your QR code at the bottom. If you use your photo, your camera over that, it'll take straight to the thing. It's so much easier. Now, I'm working really fast here because obviously time is running out. So bear with me just a moment. Now, I'm going to use the shoe, and look how pretty that is, just as it is. Isn't that gorgeous? Put that on foam tape, get your shadow going through. That's going to look incredible. Right, just bear with. Here we go. This one I'm going to lay flat. Right, come on, glue, because I haven't got time to argue with you this morning. And let's put this down, small amounts, small amounts. But if you're working flat, you need to make sure as much of it is stuck down around those edges as possible. So get anywhere that might be a loose end. That'll stop it from lifting accidentally. Just slightly over the edge and place. Now, because my shoe's flat, I definitely want some raise on my bag, not too much. I'm going to work in a steppered layer here, okay? So I'm going to put a little bit just on here. I'm not shaping, I don't need to do that with these, and I've just used the speed cut on these to show you how blooming awesome even the just outline looks with Carnation. Place that down on the other side. Look how pretty that is. Now let's bloom it out. This one I've done as a detail cut. Can you see those cut lines in the back of that? You've got lots of detailing in. So the other two were speed cuts. This is detailed. I'll be quick, I promise. Let's just give it a little bit of welly. I can shape these because I've got my cut lines like a die. Shape that out. Now let's create some drama, some floral drama. Lots and lots of gel glue. I need my teeth in this morning. I'm just going to place that under the handbag, over the shoe. Let's create that little bit of drama. Let's tilt that handbag just off that kilter there. And then let's just bring in that decoupage element. Simple, sweet card making. Just shaping that very, very lightly. Beautiful, beautiful artwork from Carnation. I wish I could take the credit, but sadly I cannot. They are quite the talented artists. Now, this one's going to seat over the top and let those arms come forward. So I'm creating that 3D effect from those petals. And then finally that bud. Now I'm being careful here to place the gel glue at the bigger end because the small end needs to still sit with its partner underneath as if I'm creating the 3D height. So this I want kind of flat to that, and I want the bit at the front to sit forward because it'll give it the idea that the flower is in full 3D bloom, and that is what we're looking for. You don't lose anything by working digitally. I know there's the argument about it. I'll stand by it until the day I die. Digital crafting is very different to die crafting, and they are absolutely stunning either way. There isn't one better than the other. They are very different crafts, and I love them very much. It's been wonderful, wonderful to have you here. I'm sorry it was so fast, but that's the nature of a USB show. 240518 for the Charm and Affection USB on the Carnation Crafts website, www.carnationcrafts.co.uk. $44.99 today, and you're going to get a $2.95 UK P&P on that because it's just under the £5. It's the £50 threshold. If you want to add some glues or something like that, it'll take you over. We are back with Full of Love in an hour's time when I've had all of the coffee, and we will be showing you, as I say, the full collection, demos, and then something really special at the end, and you're going to get the first sneak peek of it. You guys are going to get to see it first. We'll see you in an hour. Take care till then.